It was about 1995 that Bruce Clark, who'd been a commissioner, came to me at the university and said, I think Ballarat needs a group of businessmen who are unaligned, unpolitical, to lobby for the city. There were a number of influential people who were very active in that, including Noel COXALL.
And we have to go way back to the 90s, which was when Peter Davies and some of his offsiders started up what was called Ballarat First. From Ballarat First it progressed to Ballarat Advantage. Ballarat Advantage had some very big names in it, including Judy Stafford, David Haymes, Bruce Morgan and others. But back then there just wasn't a financial base to really move it on from there.
Its main reason for being, I think, was a frustration by everyone in Ballarat who had invested here across all sectors, that we weren't getting our fair share of resources from all levels of government.
I still remember Pete Davies invited me to, I think, a Ballarat First meeting at one stage, and I might have even offended Pete because I said to him, I would never want to be involved in an organisation that would have somebody like me in it.
My involvement in those initial stages was along with the other members, but my specific involvement was after we'd invited representatives from business and all of these other organisations in Ballarat. We'd have a light dinner, and then we'd talk about the vision for Ballarat Advantage and what we needed from them, and those that wanted to be on the committee and have a lot more input. We wanted $20,000, and for just normal corporate membership, and we say corporate, but for organisations, $3,000. And we did remarkably well.
It took 4 weeks from that day until, and I made a promise that this would happen, it took 4 weeks from that day for us to sign up 18 executives and 50 to 60 corporates and raise $600,000.
The then editor of the Courier, who was involved, came to me and said, look, I think we need somebody a bit more diplomatic as the chairman of the committee. So would you consider coming in just on a short-time basis to sort of put it on an even keel? So I said, well, I'm doing a variety of things, but okay, I'll give it a go. And so I came in on the expectation of 1 year and finished up with a lot more.
And I got involved with the Committee for Ballarat in 2005 more formally when I'd finished my work at Mars, and as you do, I got interested in issues around town, and I could see that we were going to run out of water. And so I wrote a letter to the Courier with a few facts and figures, which was picked up by the then chair, Noel COXALL, and said, you should be on the Committee for Ballarat. And that's where we started.
My father, Peter Davies, was one of the founding members of Committee for Ballarat. He was heavily involved in setting it up. He could see the benefit to Ballarat and the need to do something external to the council. One of Dad's biggest passions was the community. He always had that in him and wanted to do something and provide back to the community. One of his biggest quotes was, "None of us as good as all of us," from Ray Kroc, and he really believed in that and gave back where he could in the ways he was able to with his background.
Peter Davies is an individual that every town and city, I'm sure, has, and we were lucky enough in the city of Ballarat to have Peter for as long as we did, and he is incredibly passionate about our city, and without Peter Davies there would not have been Ballarat First, Ballarat Advantage or Committee for Ballarat. He was an amazing man and has left this city a wonderful legacy. They
know what they want to do, not just for Ballarat but for the whole of the Western region. The fact that major businesses are willing to put a considerable amount of money every year into the operation gives it a corporate strength.
The Committee for Ballarat, I think, is a wonderful organisation. Its strength is its independence, along with the skills and expertise it is able to draw from its membership. The diversity of our economy is one of the strengths of Ballarat and the region, and that is very much reflected in our membership. Having been Mayor of the City of Ballarat and now the residing Chair of the Committee for Ballarat, I really understand the difference in the two organisations, and so that bipartisan support, the independence that we're able to bring and the long-term visionary thinking is critically important.
Don't forget that the members are the core of the thing, and keep them informed and keep them happy.